Educating, informing, serving. Fact TV, keeping government honest.
This is Amy Howlett for the Village of Saxtons River, meeting only remotely. If anyone has issues with the technical issues, you can call or text Rick for help. That number is 802-376-4639. I'm going to say it once more, 802-376-4639. We have a good long agenda tonight, so thanks everyone for being here promptly. And I have the time noted that we started at 7:01, Carl.
Yep.
So the meeting has been called to order. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none, we are up to public comment. So I have a couple of things, but let's let anybody else weigh in first. Angela, we have you at the next item. So if you have other public comments besides the discussion of sewer fees, you can give them now, but we have that one specifically located. Anybody else? Stan? Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, just a comment. I had an email today from Maeve, the director of the Montessori school, asking about getting a pothole fixed in Westminster Street in front of the school and wanting to know who to contact. And I
Down Rockingham.
I called her told her to call Andy, or to email or call Andy. But
Perfect.
let the trustees know in case we want to collect potholes to talk to the town about.
Yeah, I think you did exactly the right thing. Andy has also said that a text reaches him very directly, but an email or a text to Andy is definitely the way to go. Stan, I heard your voice. Did you have something you wanted to add?
No, just you asked, so I was just saying no. I don't have anything.
Okay, great. All right, anyone else? So my items are all pretty much related to the town of Rockingham. Scott Pickup conveyed to me concerns from the highway department about overnight parking, and I relayed to him our decision about putting signs on the various windshields. So I'm assuming that this is the time we turn to ticketing, and we can have the sheriff do that. I haven't warned it because it came up today, but that's definitely within our perquisites as far as I know. Any comments?
It's the town can just have them towed if it becomes a problem. They might learn that way.
Yep.
More than a ticket.
So you're eager to accelerate this process, huh?
Well, if I'm eager to accelerate it, but you can only tell people things so many times if they're not going to listen. And you know, I think the signs do say no overnight parking, vehicles will be towed.
Yeah.
So if there's people that are doing it constantly, then I would assume a note on their windshield one time, and then the next time they get towed.
Twice. Yeah, I put the notes on twice, and it's one particular car. So you'd also like to see it being towed.
I think I think the statement that we would like to see it be towed is not necessarily accurate, but that's the consequence at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to try a ticket first, I think.
Well, the issue is they're being parked there when they're trying to plow.
Yep.
So I don't know what the what the likelihood of getting the sheriff out to ticket them at the time that it's a big problem is going to be.
Well, I think they can be ticketed any night they're parked on the street overnight. That's what the law is. The law isn't about when the plow comes through. The law is about parking on the street.
Well, I'm assuming that not all the violators are parking every night. Maybe I'm wrong.
You are wrong.
Okay, I stand corrected.
All right, I'm going to proceed with asking the sheriff to come through and ticket and follow up on that.
And this,
and I'll-
just so we're clear, this has to do with this time?
Yes.
Or is it, so there's, what specifically is the ordinance or, is
The
it?
ordinance is as of November 1st, no
Okay.
overnight parking on the streets anywhere in Rockingham.
Okay, great, thank you.
And it's till like April 15th or
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We're definitely in the zone
April,
now.
Yeah.
April 1st.
April 1st.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, and I will talk to Scott Pickup about who they use for towing, since you've all expressed that as a reasonable consequence as well. But I think we'll proceed.
Mhm.
It seems to me it's in particular one malfactor. So
Right.
let's see. I have been asked to supply a letter of support for the town of Rockingham wayfinding grant, which will supply signage throughout the town, pointing out historic sites of interest for walkers or bikers. And a reply that I would run it by you, but that it seems to me people come to Saxtons River in order to walk or bike, and this would be a great thing that we sign on to. So this is an application for a grant, as I understand it. Is there any objection to my doing that as the chair of the board?
And is the grant for what?
For the town of Rockingham,
To do what?
wayfinding signs.
Okay. All right. Nope. I have no issue with that.
Okay, I think that's it for public comment. So we are on to sewer fee applications for changes. Angela, I have two names for you. Could you identify yourself so I know exactly who you are?
Yes, sorry, I just changed back to my maiden name, so I'm Angela Graves now.
Great. Angela Graves, you have the floor.
Thank you. I would just like to petition for maybe dropping to one sewer fee. I have that extra space off my master bedroom and no plans to rent it.
Angela, you're at 11 Academy Ave.
Correct. Correct. It doesn't have doors, there's no appliances, there's no parking for another car, there's no kitchen. And I'm struggling paying the extra $3,000 a year as a single mom. And to be honest, I didn't find out about the tax until my closing date. So I just was hoping that you could consider maybe dropping that extra.
Okay, just to be clear, it's not a tax, it's a sewer fee.
Okay.
And I think I warned you, we're very conservative. Sarah, we'll let you be the mouthpiece for how these things are determined, if you're willing to take that role.
Sure, I've had some discussions with the listers, so it's a little bit of a gray area. But the listers do have some criteria, which is that there be appliances, specifically that there's a sink and a stove and a refrigerator, or a combination thereof. When specifically 11 Academy Avenue did have those items previous to COVID. Obviously no one, listers have not gone into properties since that started. They'll be starting to go in, I believe in 2023. And it was sold as a house with an apartment. When you look at the listing, it says Airbnb as a possibility. You bring up an excellent point, Angela, which I have never thought of about the parking.
Yes.
It would be very hard to have it be a two-family home. traditionally, what would happen is that before Carl and Ben Wallace do the next year's
Sewer fees.
sewer fees, you would have an opportunity to say, hey, come on in and see that it's not a kitchen. It's not a rentable location. We tend not to do it mid-year.
Mhm.
It's not a $3,000 fee for the sewer fee. That's all your taxes. That must be your town of Rockingham taxes and your village taxes and the sewer fee together.
It's just for the way I understand it is just the town of Rockingham fee itself is $750 quarterly, around that. And then I have a separate tax it's much less than that.
Yeah, so you have a Rockingham tax, you have a Saxons River tax, and you have a separate sewer fee.
Correct.
And typically, if an Airbnb has operated there before, you have two sewer fees, one for your residents and one for the Airbnb. I see two hands. I'm going to recognize Matt, whose hand I saw first, and then Carl. Go ahead, Matt.
What is the house zone for currently? Is it a
Residential.
Is it a single family or is it a duplex?
I believe the town of Rockingham has it as a duplex.
So it's going to get two sewer fees, and what you have to do to move from that is to go to the town of Rockingham and change the change of use permit. So you would change that from a duplex to a single family house, and then you would get charged one sewer fee. Until that happens, you'll be charged two sewer fees.
Okay.
And
Is that a complicated procedure, Matt?
No, you just have to go in and fill out paperwork and change it so that you won't have the opportunity to have it as a B&B or a rental.
Okay. And that would be the solution?
Right. Once the village of Saxons River sees that, then your sewer fee would be one, because it's a single family residence versus a residence with a B&B or an apartment. So if it's zoned as two, you get charged two for the sewer fee.
And do they would they easily do that if I had explained my situation? Or
It's not your situation.
Yeah, it's not the situation. You just
It's
go
your
and say,
use.
oh, I have this and I'm not renting it out to anyone. It's a single family, and you just fill out paperwork, and I think that's well, you have to talk to them, but it's not a horrible situation, I don't believe.
okay.
Okay, so the next person to speak is Carl, and then I see your hand, Ellen. Carl, do you have things to add?
No, I have just a question for Angela. You said you weren't aware of the fees until you closed. I just wondered when you closed on the property.
May 27th of 2022.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ellen, question from you. You're muted, by the way, Ellen.
Like I'm new here. Angela, I don't know if this helps you at all. I'm just looking at the listing right now, the Zillow listing, and perhaps it was just classified wrong, because it says here in the listing, interested in Airbnb or additional rental income, ? There is an option to have a 1-bedroom apartment.
Mhm.
So maybe something was just miscalculated.
And it was used as a 1-bedroom apartment, not
What?
that long. There was a 1-bedroom apartment there not that long ago.
Right. Yes.
Because the list,
Well, it doesn't matter what that is. It matters what the zoning is in the town of Rockingham. If it
True.
says two, then it's two. If
Right.
it's- Then you just change it to a single and you're done with it.
yeah, I'm just explaining how the listing is written, and then perhaps it's conveying an issue that
Mhm.
perhaps you could, not that there was.
That the zoning was such that, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if that helps at all, Angela, with your case.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So Angela, any other questions? Here, you have us all at your disposal.
I know. I wish I did have more. I've had a crazy long day, so I need to move from basketball to this to taking care of dinner.
Okay, so I think the procedure's clear. You have to visit the town clerk. Don't go on a Friday. She's not there. She's open very early in the morning. You can find the hours on rockinghamvt.org.
Amy, actually, I
Probably
believe you would go to the
to,
lister's office.
Is it the lister's office? Okay, thanks. Sorry, I stand corrected. It's the lister's office. And those hours, I'm sure, are also on the town website.
Okay, perfect.
Any
Well-
other advice for Angela before we let her go on to dinner?
Don't park on the streets.
I learned that. Okay, thanks so much. I appreciate all of your time.
Great to meet you, Angela. Okay, and I see nobody else here for a grievance, so I think we're on to the next, which is just a brief public notification. Do you want to do the lead on this, Sarah? Did we lose Sarah? No, there you are. Sorry, Sarah. You're moving around on my screen.
I'm
The
right here.
LEWAP. Do you want to talk about that? Low income housing
Yes,
water assistance program.
not really.
I'll do it then. So Sarah has done the paperwork, and Saxtons River is now registered as a village which can receive low-income household water payments. So the individual applicant goes to, I'm going to just keep saying LEWAP, which is part of the Department of Children and Families. They fill out the form, and now Saxtons River is recognized as a recipient for payments. So everything happens, and the low-income resident can get assistance in paying the sewer bill. In our case, we don't have water bills.
Great.
We have previously worked with the FHA, Vermont Finance and Housing Administration, but we did not do that this year. So I think we are on to the main feature tonight, the Village 2023-2024 budget, and in particular, the general budget and wastewater treatment plant worksheets. So I'm looking to Carl and perhaps Rob to do the lead on this. Carl, you have the floor.
Okay, well, I will want to share if I can.
Let me give you that privilege. You are now the co-host, and you should be able to use that green button at the bottom of the screen to share.
Okay, let's look at the wastewater treatment plant first. Oh, gee, I see a whole lot of stuff here. Okay,
So we going through line items, or is
Yeah,
Rob already gone through this and put numbers in? What's the
yeah,
line?
so well, let's yeah, I think that what we can do is update any changes that we might want to make in the budget. In the last column, which is the 2023-24 budget, are the numbers that we came up with the last time we met, subject to being able to look at the actual and year-to-date totals from last year and year-to-date for this year. The two that are highlighted in yellow are reflect information we didn't have last month. The first one is the management cost. We've gotten the contract from Bellows Falls, and so we know what the management cost will be. The other one is relates to sludge removal. Rob had suggested that we might want to increase that from $15,000 to $15,000 from $14,500, and we since got a notification from Casella that there was going to be a 4 cent per gallon increase in the fee passing on a cost from where they deposit the sludge. So Rob gave me the gallons of sludge that we have sent over the past 2 years, and I figured out how much 4 cents per gallon would be, and the $3,770 would be the surcharge for the average of the last 2 years' wastes.
That sounds very, very sound.
So a couple questions here.
Yeah.
One, the contract with the Village of Bellows Falls for running our plant goes from 63 and change to 68. I haven't seen the new contract. Is it in line with what we've done in the past? As far as a percent, 3-year contract with a percentage every year, or what is going on there?
Yes, I think so. I don't have the 2021 data here, but yeah, I think that's pretty consistent. 21-22 was it's an increase of roughly 2,000 from 2021 to 22-23, and this would be another an increase of roughly another 2,000. So yeah, it's in line with the past couple of years, and this is basically salary expense.
Well, yeah, I understand what it covers.
Yeah.
Are we in a new contract, or is this just an extension? Is this one of the years in one
This
of our?
this is a new 3-year contract.
Okay. I haven't seen it, so I don't
Would
know.
you like that to be circulated to
Well,
everyone?
no, it would be good if somebody would look at it and say, okay, we're going up 2% or 3%, or, this just seems to be a given for the Village of Bellows Falls.
I'm happy to routinely circulate things like that. I looked
Mhm.
it over and sent it to Carl.
Mhm.
But it seemed routine to me, given what we've seen previously.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I
is
think
it
this is
a
something-
2%, 2.5%, 3%, 4% every year? What is it that we're
I don't
signing on?
recall.
Okay, I haven't had a chance since Amy sent it to me to go through and look at it in that detail. And I think I would assume that this is something that we will want to look at as a board to approve.
Okay.
Yes? Don't we?
I don't think,
Well,
I certainly have no interest in challenging it.
no, I don't want to challenge it, but it seems, and maybe Rob can answer this question. It seems to be over the years that I've been on the board, it's kind of been like a 2 or a 3% increase every year. So I'm just asking the question, so we're not 6% or 8% or 10%.
This contract's a 4% increase per year.
And what has it been in the past? 3?
I think it's been 3. Right.
So why is it 4?
Just because of what's going on in the economy,
Okay, well, that's, so that's my question, and I want to,
Right.
be able to be aware of it so that,
Yeah.
As long as I've been involved, it's been 3% every year. So
Right.
now it's 4, and I understand that, but we need to be aware of it in case somebody asks us. So, oh no, we went up 25%.
No. But
So-
if you look at the 22-23, I think the budget was 65.
Yep.
I don't know where the projected's getting to 63 in that projected column. I
Yeah.
don't know where that is, but
Okay.
the budget is 65.
Mhm.
So it goes, but
But
yeah,
that's the real number.
I think that was the 22. this year currently we're in.
Yeah.
So it goes 4% from that.
If I can clarify, Rob, the projected is just calculating, the year-to-date is as of today, 220 days. The projected is just multiplying those numbers to 365 days.
Right.
So
So,
it's not going to be exactly what the budget is.
right.
So we're signing a contract, or we have signed a contract starting at 68,345, and it's going to go up 4% next year and the year after. Is that correct?
Yes,
Each year.
each year.
And is it a lump sum contract, or is it based on services provided?
No, it's a lump sum. It's an agreed amount. That 68,345 is what we have to pay this year. And then next year is going to be 4% more. And the year after that, it's going to be 4% more.
So in 2021, the 21-22, we budgeted 63,802 and the actual was 54,266. So
I don't know.
No.
Come back.
well, that's what the sheet says. It's here on the screen.
Yeah, we'll come back to those discrepancies in a moment.
What we paid them, I would assume, is 63,802.
Yes.
I mean, that's a contracted amount. That's what they're going to get paid.
So,
I think there was overtime in there.
well, it's less than the budgeted amount.
No, I think if we want to sort of skip and take a look just at that budget versus actual, there are some, and I think this has to do with fine tuning the software and making sure that we're clear in what categories invoices come. But there are some, discrepancies that don't, to me, make a lot of sense. For example, it says that we paid $3,800 or $3,872 for the bond payment, which is 110 grand. So there is sort of a problem with the calculation of these expected numbers. I think that the actual expense for Bellows Falls management probably was 6,300,802, and that there's a problem in how the software is combining all the numbers and giving Sarah these totals. I know she said she was having issues working through some problems with the calculations, and I think there's some more work to be looked at there. So I don't know how much we can rely on what all of those actual numbers were.
Right, but a contracted amount is a contracted amount. We'll be paying those. What it says on the spreadsheet is, right, it could be just something being put in the wrong category when it's listed. The other one is the other yellow one, the sludge removal.
Yes.
Rob, there's going to be an upgrade to Bellows Falls to do something with sludge.
We're looking at that right now to do more with. We got the sludge dryer. So we're looking at doing an upgrade to do some flood proofing, but that won't happen for a couple of years, and do some storage for the dry product.
Is that anything that we can take advantage of to get our?
I don't know what I don't know what the, says I don't see the bills from Montpelier, so I don't know what the total cost per gallons are. But ours is right now is 13 cents a gallon.
For your sludge removal?
No, to deliver sludge from your Saxtons or Bellows Falls, plus the hauling fee.
Run that by me again.
If you decided to ship it to Bellows Falls instead of the Montpelier,
yep,
it's 13 cents a gallon to dispose of it at Bellows Falls.
Okay, so we need.
Plus, you'd have to have a trucking fee there. So if Carl calculated 94,000 250 times 13, it would be 12,255 for that, plus the trucking, and I don't know how much they charge for trucking, because it would be a Casella bringing in the tanker.
To have it trucked from Saxtons River to Bellows Falls,
Bellows
to have it
Falls.
processed, and
Right.
the
Be
process in
processed.
Bellows Falls is approximately 12 cents a gallon.
13 cents right now.
Sorry. Okay. So that's maybe something we could look at in the future.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the point when we did this to have Casella, it was cheaper to go with them than it was to do it any other way. I mean, it was just it just made sense, you know, and that's why we did it. But right now it's getting to the point where it doesn't make sense, because I don't know how much, you know, like I said, I just 94,250
So
times 1.3, it's 12.2, but I don't know how much they charge for trucking. So, you know, they still got $6,000, $6,500. I can't believe there'd be that much for trucking, but I don't know, you know, because it's only going to go 5 miles, but he's still got his time to come pick it up.
Right. Instead of where are they going? Coventry
Montpelier, wastewater.
So
Typically they go to Montpelier. There's other places they go, but that 9 out of 10 times they go to Montpelier wastewater.
Right. So regardless, we have to truck it from here to Bellows Falls or here to Montpelier. The trucking would be less, the processing would be. Okay.
Processing is 13 cents a gallon.
Yep.
And I mean, I can give the guy that hauls it to see what he would charge to truck it.
That'd be great. Do you have the capacity to add this in Bellows Falls, Rob?
With that upgrade, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely take it, I think. It's just, we take a lot of septage. That's our other problem. And we took last year, we took 2.2 million gallons of septage.
No kidding.
Oh yeah. So.
So what do you think? Do you want to investigate this?
Well, at the very least, we would have to wait for the upgrade. Is that the deal, or?
Don't think, not really. I just want to think it over some more. Plus I'll get the cost from Jerry.
Okay.
Cause it is concentrated too. It is thick and it is sludge. So I don't know if I'd put it directly into the digesters or what I'd do with it. Just because I haven't really thought about it, because we haven't taken it. But it would be coming at like 6,500 gallons at a whack. So the way we have it now, we just pump. It would go into this with all the septage and just get pumped through the plant like it does. So I got to give it some more thought about that and see what I want to do.
Carl, would it be distressing to you? Would it be a problem for you if we investigate this and make our figures final a month from now?
No, not at all. I had expected that we would look at the numbers and that there would be some changes that would have to be made, and that we would finalize the budget in March.
Okay.
We have a meeting on March 1st. Is that correct? Anyway, there's time enough to get the document to you for inclusion in the annual report.
Yeah, it's March 6th.
March 6th?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the first Monday in March.
Okay.
Let's mirror each other.
There is still time to, if we finalize it then and there are not too many changes, to get a document to you to put into the annual report. 30 days from April, so by the 17th.
Rob and Matt, are you willing to take this on? And Rob, no pressure. You know, if you think it through and it doesn't make sense to do it at this point in time.
Yep.
Okay.
No, that's fine.
And Matt, you'll make sure that we have everything we need to make a decision by March 6th.
Yeah, I gave that to Rob.
Okay,
Uh,
well, I just
no,
want
that's fine.
somebody on the board to have
Sarah,
have their finger on the pulse.
Yep, sure.
Great.
Sarah,
Yeah,
did you get one, did you bring up one of Casella's bills?
I did. It's 17 cents a gallon.
17 now, or it's going to be?
It's now.
So
So
it's gonna be
plus
20,
four.
21.
Yeah, 4 cents more.
But,
So-
and Rob, that's all the information they give. They don't give any trucking fees or anything on that.
So it's 65 times 0.17. So the bill's 1105.
1183.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's more than 17 then. 1183 divided by 65.
Oh, you know what? I looked at last year's bill.
Okay, 18 cents is what they're charging, 18.2.
Yeah.
It covers everything.
Apparently. Like I said, I don't see the bill, so it's hard for me to figure out what they charge.
Yeah, but Sarah's right. They don't like itemize
Yeah, they
it.
don't break it out as far as trucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
No,
what
I
they-
don't, I think it's just all rolled into one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what they do is on their statement, it does say that you can go to casella.com/fees. Without all the different fees that you're possibly going to incur. So if you need just to get a basic understanding, that's,
Rob, you're exactly right. 0.182.
All right,
All right.
So what we need then is the cost to truck the sludge
Right.
from Saxons River to Bellows Falls.
right. And I don't know if it'd be a flat fee or if you do it by the gallon or how he would do it.
Yeah.
So still use the same company, but I just don't know how much you charge to do it because it's,
Right.
like I said, it's 5 miles.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
But like I said, I still gotta think about doing it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And then what were the other, we had other ones that were questionable, but
Well, I just took out $5,000 from the chemical fees because I put it into I put one of the management fees into the chemicals. So, but Rob, I need to send you itemized so you can tell me. I have a feeling I'm putting too much stuff in chemicals.
probably, okay. Yeah, because we just started using pH again this year. We just started
Okay.
here about 3 weeks ago. And I just took a shipment for 2 barrels. So other than that, we haven't done anything in chemicals.
Well, we pay Bell's Falls every month for chemicals.
I don't know why.
Then
Because-
we need to look at those bills and, well, is it testing?
Chemical,
$100
yeah, we shouldn't,
$180 or
that would be,
100.
that would be lab fees and testing.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, and then, because you should get a bill every month for our contract. And
Yeah.
then you should get bills for, another bill for the lab fees.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to redo that whole categories and I'll send it to you after I do that.
There's 2 that are coming from Bellows Falls, and those are the 2.
Yep,
Yeah,
And the
Yeah.
chemicals are from Allen.
Allen Pools and Spas, correct.
It's quite a spot down there.
And then I talked to our girl in the office that sends out the bills for Bellows Falls, and we're behind by some. Is that correct? Or have you sent out
I
a
don't
check?
think so.
We are behind?
No,
She said that we're
I
3
talked to
behind.
Pam.
Yeah, she said there were 3 behind. Last time I talked to her, but that you may have talked to her since.
Okay.
That was last week, so I haven't talked to her this week. But I don't know.
Find a BS bill.
Carl, what other numbers do you want us to focus on here?
Line maintenance,
Line maintenance?
Looking at the actual of 16,000 versus 3,500 that we budgeted.
Well, the 16 was the raising of all the manhole covers, I would assume, for
Yeah.
paving throughout the village. Is that correct,
Yeah.
Rob?
That
Yes,
kind of
I-
makes sense.
That includes the 14,278 for, okay.
Why didn't we do that in the paving project? No?
Yeah, we took it from capital expenditures. I do remember that.
Yeah, that came from the reserve. And it was, I have a note here that was 14,278. So the actual line maintenance would have been,
Right, what we might have done, I might have done either flushing. That would have been some, a half a day or a day of flushing and not TVing maybe.
no,
So
that's,
that would be why the difference is.
no, that's fine. It's just, it was the 14,000 that I was concerned about.
Yeah, 16,248 minus the,
So what category would you want that in?
That could go to the pavement project.
Okay, we don't have category for the pavement.
So
Yeah.
it's line number 10 on the
Line
same
number 10.
Right
spreadsheet.
below it.
But-
Oh, okay,
So,
but so I have to put that in my computer as a.
well,
as a
we did
category.
not, we took that from the capital reserve. So it showed up in the budget worksheet, but
Mhm.
it doesn't need to go in as a line item. It's not something that's going to be recurring.
Okay,
You just need to shift where we paid for it from, I guess.
So the pavement project that's $40,000 in the 21-22, what the heck's that all about?
that was from,
That's when they raised the manholes, when they paved the streets.
Yeah, we didn't, but that's not in our budget to pave streets. We didn't pay $40,000 to.
We paid $14,278.
Yeah,
Raise the
right.
manhole covers,
right. So why is there $40,000 there?
because we thought it might cost that much if we had to replace all those covers.
Okay,
That was a worst case estimate.
okay. That was wrong.
yeah, that was something we put in there because we didn't know how many of the rings and covers that we're
We're gonna
gonna
have to replace.
replace.
Yep,
If we had to replace them all or buy them all,
Yep.
then it was not having, 20,000 in and then have to spend 50,
right.
we're
Okay.
we're the other way around. So they're able to use a lot of them over again. So
Very good.
that's why it was that way.
Okay. We also had a discussion last time about insurance. And we still budgeting separately for that because I don't see any actual expense for that, for insurance for the treatment plant in what Sarah sent me.
So we have, the insurance is through who?
I think it's a League of Cities and Towns policy.
Right, so we have probably 3 different areas that are getting charged: the wastewater treatment plant, the fire station, and the rec area.
Yep, I think that's correct.
And so we need a breakdown of what the costs are from each one, so that the insurance for the wastewater treatment plant could be an actual. Is that?
so I think that's something that you guys can just tell me, but how do you do it? 45, 45 and 10?
Well, is there a breakout on the bill that comes from them? I mean, we pay them money, so it's to cover all the village assets, but is it broken out?
I see the bill. I don't see the policy.
I don't see the policy either.
Well, I'm happy to share what I have, and I'm sure I can get new copies of the documents. Typically, I look at it seriously when it changes. So for example, we added a storage shed and we had to document the size of the storage shed, the purpose, et cetera, so that it was added to our coverage.
Right.
Ellen is handling those things and she's doing an incredible job, but we're still figuring out what's policy and what's bill. So why don't I take on tracking down the policy and making sure that we have that? I can send it to everyone and also make sure that whatever their coverage is, if it's broken down, we can allocate it. If it's one administrative fee, then we'll have to figure out where to put it in. I don't think they're doing anything different now, but I don't have it in my mind how they do it. So I'll check on that.
Right, because obviously the wastewater treatment plant is a lot more valuable than the rec area.
Yeah.
Versus, dollar amounts. So I would assume they assess, and same with the fire station, that there's a number or a percentage that they are charging to cover that area.
It sounds like it might be useful for everyone to have a look at that.
Sure.
So when I find it, I'm hoping that it's in a readily viewable file so I can share it with you all.
I got a question with the fuel propane in 2021-22. We used $1,279 of propane. Seems like it's high.
That we use that much?
Yeah. But
So we billed 1,000, we budgeted 1,000 and the actual looks like 1,279.
yeah,
Well, the only thing to do is contact, it's CODAs that's covering
Yep.
that, right?
yep.
Contacting them because we have it at the fire station too, correct?
Well, yeah,
Yes,
heating oil.
yeah, and they're all different. They're all different accounts.
Right.
So
Right.
Good.
So it would be easy enough to have them print something out as far as what was delivered to the wastewater treatment.
Yeah, the usage, because I didn't think we were using
yeah,
that
I
much.
can do it. I just had them do it for so that oh my God. Art, yes. Could see what the fuel, the diesel usage was.
I picked up mail today, and there's a statement in here from CODA for the treatment plant for oil delivery. So it has the last 4 deliveries.
There's no oil.
There's no oil.
Oil's at the fire station. What's it say? You're holding it up.
The Saxtons River wastewater plant
Yeah.
says delivery status and $3.11, 135 gallons, 135.8 gallons.
Of what?
Of what?
W regular.
W regular.
No
It's
idea.
too small, Ellen. We're never going to be able to see it unless we let you share the screen.
You're not winning this one.
And then the
You could say either fuel oil or LP someplace.
Mm.
No, now she's muted.
LPG bulk Vermont.
Yeah, that's propane.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's saying, that we got deliveries. The last 4 deliveries were 47 gallons, 61 gallons, 144 gallons, 143 gallons.
And those are by months.
It says here, this is a delivery ticket, and
Yeah.
it says date November 25th. I think this is July 19th, March 9th, and January 21st. I would hope that would be last year.
Yeah,
Net delivery propane
You know, we don't use a whole lot of propane, so that's why I'm wondering why it's so.
Well, the smaller.
Everything went up this year,
smaller
right?
volumes, they charge you a lot more than bulk.
Okay,
I'll put that on my list, Rob.
no, that's fine.
So Rob, I'm looking at what, I have a feeling some of these, there's I have in 2780, 3406, and this is when I very first started, and I have a feeling that those are actually Key Club.
Yeah,
And
we
they
also
should
have
have
a
been,
gas,
so they
we have a
should have been.
gas card. I mean, we have a gas can for the snow blower and for the supinate pump. So we
Yeah,
buy 5 gallons of gas at a time. So, and for the
right,
lawnmower.
so these
in the
were,
summertime.
I bet, yeah. Yeah, so I think those are probably Key Club ones.
Okay. So I don't know if we want to put those into the heat propane too as well. I don't know how you want to do that, or just put it in plant maintenance. I mean, I know it's all in the budget, but
Those in plant maintenance, I would think.
right,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Those should be in plant maintenance, and propane should just be in
Propane is propane. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I think it's the category is fuel, so I just put it all.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. So we're gonna put Key Club into plant maintenance.
Yep. And I thought that we had a breakdown, didn't we have a breakdown in one of the budgets of where all the line items of what was in each line item?
Typically, that's on the flip side of the annual report budget sheet. So the flip side, if you turn the page, that's where you have a description of what is in each line item.
I don't know if that would help Sarah or not. If it would.
Yeah, but some of this stuff, I think like the Key Club, where that goes, that's not gonna be that helpful.
Okay.
So this is good. What, Rob, I think what I'm gonna do is after I work some of this stuff, I'm gonna just send you literally the breakdown of every category. And you can say, like, I just looked in chemicals and there's Aqua Aid, and I thought that was a chemical. Is that not a chemical?
No, that's a water softener. So that's
So is
just
that
water salt, just salt for the water tank.
But so I put that in chemical.
So where does it go? Kind of is a
Should,
chemical.
like, movie, just to me, it's just plant maintenance. It's not a
Okay.
I mean, it's just salt that goes in. I mean, we can put it in chemicals, but it's just salt for the water softener.
Right.
So-
So it's a good idea, Sarah. Kind of put it
Yeah.
out there, have him
Yeah.
designate it, and then we won't have
Yeah.
it.
That's a new one too. We didn't have that before we had a water softener.
Right.
So
And we get a shipment once a year.
Yeah.
all right, Carl,
Yep,
I'm looking to you again.
Okay.
What would you like us to look at next on this sheet?
Look down, under line 15 in red, WWTP upgrade.
Mhm.
Now, the WWTP upgrade is one of the, I had thought that was the grant,
USDA?
grant, and that was a source that we billed some specific purchases to that that were eligible. And so I'm seeing it here as a line item.
It shouldn't have been an line item. Well, but it is an expense, so
Well, it's not an expense, I don't think, is it?
Or
Are
was
we
it the
still
brick?
paying
It's-
totals to the USDA?
yeah.
I think we're going to be paying those for the next 20 years, right?
No, that's not the bond payment. That's line 14.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
WWTP upgrade on the warrants. We would say charge to wastewater treatment plant or wastewater treatment plant upgrade. And the things that got charged to the upgrade were items that we were permitted to use those grant funds for. So not every item that went to the treatment plant was grant eligible, but a certain number of them were. And so that should, I thought that that was where we were getting money from, not where we were.
Right.
I don't understand what that item is doing there and why it's still so large. Because I don't think there was that much money in the grant left over. I'd have to go back and look through the work that I got from Ben, and I did not have time to do that.
And I thought we kind of used that up.
I thought that was gone.
When we
Right.
did the
I think that went away and that rolls all back into your bond payment.
So I'm wondering what the final date was that we used that category.
You used it last summer for, I'm trying to think what we used it for.
Was that sound deadening on the pipes?
That was one of the items.
Yes. And some associated costs with that. There were a couple of invoices.
So that was summer of 22,
Yeah,
2022. So we do need, somewhere we need to reflect that. But I understand what you're saying, Carl, about the difference between expenditure and allocation.
So it may be, Sarah, that I just am not understanding the
You know what, I'm gonna have to go back in the other computer and look on the maintenance, like, not maintenance, the previous years, how it was done in 2019 to 2020.
Okay,
And see what they did. Okay. Did you want me to do that now?
No,
no,
Let's
no,
we
why don't
I'm not planning on doing it.
why don't you take a look and let's, you and I get in touch and
Okay.
that would be great. If you two could put your heads together, I know we'll have a solution that works for everybody.
Yeah.
yeah, right. One last thing that I had a question about, and that's that the capital reserve payment, line 3.
Yeah, we haven't
I
put it in yet.
Well, I saw that we didn't do it last fiscal year either. I did not see that in the actual expenses for 21-22. So
Is that something we intended to do that we never followed through on?
no, I think we probably did it. I think it's just I think the software's just not telling us that. So that's
I don't think I ever did it. I don't think I was ever told to do it.
So that must have been an outcome, an intended outcome from annual meeting that we didn't put it on a warrant or anything.
It's part of the budget. Why would you need to put it on one?
Yeah,
Well, we put everything else on the warrant.
We've never put the capital reserve on the warrant.
I don't remember ever seeing it on a capital reserve payment on a warrant. No,
I don't think so either. I mean, it's not a bill. Again, it's an internal transfer.
Right. I was gonna say I can transfer it. That's not.
So let's have you do that now.
Okay.
I mean, not now, but you know,
Yeah, I get.
Okay, so for 22, 23, yeah, we certainly want it done before the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah,
It wasn't done a year ago. I don't know what we do about that.
I can't hear you.
I said,
No.
if it wasn't. if it
I
wasn't
can't
done a year
hear
ago-
you, Carl.
Oh, okay, so I have a different question. If,
Hold on, I'm writing still.
okay. So money that if we budget more than we spend in the wastewater treatment account, what happens to that money?
doesn't that show up in our end of year unspent funds?
Yes. So when I gave you, Carl, when I gave you the, what all the accounts had in them
Mhm,
as of 6:30,
mhm. So this it just stays in the account,
yes,
okay? That's all I wanted to know.
yeah.
Where are we at with the electrical bill so far this year? Any idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, $11,148.75 so far.
Okay. So, so you're projecting we're gonna spend 18.4?
18.5,
Yeah,
and we had talked about budgeting 19.
okay.
So it looks like a pretty good.
Pretty good guess.
Well, we just spent 20 and 22, so like I said, it's up and down
Yeah,
till we get the final one in, but, right.
And it's
Okay.
funny, I think just historically, I think we actually spent more last summer on like the really, like in July and August. Just, and this is just, and then like our last bill was 1777. And my recollection is just like last winter, they were higher than that. So it's just, I just suppose it depends on how it's used. You know, how much
Yeah.
usage there is.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
a question for you, Rob.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many gallons of treated affluent go into the river every day?
It varies. I mean, typically, I mean, it's up higher now because we got more groundwater coming in. I think we're right around 60,000 gallons. But we've had it when we had the rain, it goes up, and then it slowly comes down, but just a lot of groundwater.
Yeah.
So
That comes out in a somewhat of a trickle.
it goes out in batches because the tanks cycle every 3 hours.
So how many gallons every cycle?
I don't know. I'd have to get back to you on that one. It varies because the decants. I mean, in the middle of the night, it's not as much. When
Right.
this tank fills up because there's not much coming in.
Right.
So it's based off time. It's a time thing when it fills. So
Is there any type of scenario where we could put some type of turbine in there to make electricity?
oh, I don't know
Probably
if
not.
if we could spin a turbine or not in that, and where would you put it? You know.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too is, like I talked about last time, is potentially getting into a solar farm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not I know. And I don't know if they're putting one, if they're still moving forward one up at the Rockingham gravel pit or not.
I haven't heard anything. We could ask around. I'm
Right.
sure
Yeah.
somebody knows.
I know we belong one in Bellows Falls, we belong to one. So, but I'm not, like I said, sometimes we get bills, sometimes we don't get bills. Depends on how well the solar farm does.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I have a little information on that when we get to the ARPA. Let's stick to where we are now with the worksheets. Carl, it seems to me like we've pretty much made our way through this, except for the areas where you and Sarah or Sarah and Rob are going to make changes. Am I correct on that? Are we ready for the next one?
I think we're ready for the next worksheet.
Okay, you still have the ability to share whatever you'd like.
Okay, well, here is the next worksheet. This is the,
We're not seeing it yet. Did you stop sharing and go to the next one?
oh, let's see.
It's not there yet.
I'm getting there.
I was trying to get Rick to do something, but he's,
Okay,
All right, I got a question. Are you guys done with me?
I think we are, Rob.
Okay,
Thank you so much for coming and shedding light on the various things.
all
thanks.
right,
Rob.
yeah. Talk to you guys later.
All right, see you.
Yeah, bye.
okay. So last time, looking at the last column, we made some projections, for the budget. And we said we would want to wait on others until we had seen the actual and year-to-date usage. So we're at the point of wanting to make sure that those numbers still look reasonable. And fill in the blanks where we don't have anything.
I know you're all dying to know what the $5,000 in the building is.
Sure.
That's David Moore painting.
Okay.
No, because I questioned it and I went back and looked.
Is it 3,000? Oh, 5,850?
50, yeah.
Yeah. And we approved that as we went along.
Yeah.
Thanks for the update. That's great. So that is painting the fire station / trolley barn.
Yes.
Painting and repair, actually.
I was going to say, and there was repair in there as well.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, so that takes care of one question that I had. It seems to me that we budget 1,700 that we had budgeted for this past year should be enough for electricity again.
Okay.
Does that look reasonable to you? Or
Yep.
I'm amazed because I thought it would go up.
Our last month was very healthy, 199 more. So normally it's 103. And our last bill was 199. So I don't know if something changed in rates.
well, we could budget a little bit more. We went from 1,500 to 1,700. Because we'd spent 1,600 the year before, and we're on track that 1,700 should be close, but you think we need to
You know what? I bet it was when it was so cold in December and they had the heater on. I bet they had the heater on in the firehouse.
Well, wait till we get to the next bill.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rick, any projections on the cost of electricity over the next year?
I was just gonna look what it is. There is a rate increase happening right now. You all should have seen it in your bill as well. I can dig out mine to remember what it was.
I definitely saw it.
So, and that's just an increase in the service fee for having the pleasure of having electricity is going up a little bit, and then the cost of electricity is going up a little bit. So
Double impact.
it's not going to get any cheaper.
Yeah, I think we want to increase that a little bit, Carl.
Okay. How much do you think? Another 200? We went up 200 last year. 300? $2,000 is a nice round number.
We don't want to increase it at all, but we have to.
Budgeting is always a guess. Let's go 1900.
Okay. Okay. The fire department capital reserve. Now, we didn't budget anything for that last year because we were running in the red with cash on hand. And I didn't see, Sarah, that you had you gotten the cash on hand for the general account and the numbers you sent me? If you did, I didn't see it.
Yes, it's also, but it's a fake number because it includes ARPA.
Okay,
So we are running, if you took everything out, we're running right on level. There's enough to pay the $500 in capital reserve. Sorry, 5,000.
But you're not talking about using ARPA funds for that.
No,
I'm
Okay,
talking,
good. Just wanted to make sure.
no.
I'm talking about the cash on hand number that we
The cash
calculate
on hand.
every year to all, as to how cash on hand that we use to offset against taxes, not how much money we have in the accounts.
Right.
Right.
See what I mean?
Right, but so when you look at the number for year ending June 30th,
Mm-hmm.
there's I think 55,000, about $50,000 in there. That's ARPA money. I'll find, that's a good point. I'll find that out so we can put an asterisk in it. ARPA funds. I can tell you. No. Yeah, sorry. So there's roundly 74,000 in that number. That's ARPA money. Carl.
Okay. I don't have that money in front of that number in front of me. What is it without the ARPA money?
I'm just going to do the math. Hold on. Four. Uh, 73,348. So sorry. So it's 7, 3. So it's about $9,000.
9,000?
Yeah, round. Don't quote. Yeah.
Okay.
I threw my calculator at the bats, so it's in the bathroom with the bats.
Okay.
And that's not a euphemism. So it's 6, 8, 7, 5 minus.
So we could then budget 5,000 for the capital reserve, you're saying?
Yes. So it's $9,229.19.
Okay,
Checking account 444.
so then what's your pleasure? Do we want to contribute to the capital reserve again? Fire Department capital reserve? I mean, I think it's prudent to do that.
Mhm.
I think so too.
Yep.
Okay. Fire station study. We haven't put any money into that, budget money for that for quite a while. So, in fact, for so long, I'm not even sure what it is. But I would say we don't need to budget any again.
Um,
Well, I think it depends on the total number at the end of it, really. I mean, at some point, we're going to be building a fire station and we're going to need to pay for all of the fees that are involved in it and design cost. And that's what we had been doing for years with the wastewater treatment facility, was putting money, setting the rate higher so that we were banking some money, because no matter what, I mean, we're not going to be setting our rate so high that we're trying to save the total cost of a new fire station, but there's so many costs involved in it that any money that we put aside is helpful.
No, I had thought that was what the fire station development line was for, the next line.
Oh, yeah, I think they're kind of one of the same, but you know, again, we want to be cognizant of you know, what we're setting our rate at, and not wasting money, but planning for the future. So wherever you put it, whether it's a fire station study or fire station development, one and the same in my mind. We've already studied it. We needed a fire station, a new one. So if you want to get rid of that line item, that's fine with me. I think it's been studied enough. Development, fine.
Okay. What does the rest of the board think?
I have a question I want to ask. I'm sorry, but do we have a way to indicate that in 2022 we were given a $5,000 donation from 24 Main for the fire station account? That was a check made out to us from 24 Main.
Yeah, but that's in this fiscal year.
Okay, but that is reflected somewhere in our accounts?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. But not in
Yeah.
the budget.
but
Okay.
not in expenditures.
Of course not. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that that's, you know, that we can point to that if the question comes up. Sorry to bring you away from what you were talking. So Carl, your question is, what should we budget for the fire station, for the fire station development line?
Well, that was the next question. Yeah, so I would agree with Matt that we can just eliminate the fire station study. I think that's been completed, so to speak.
I think so.
But that we would want to look at the fire station development. And we started putting money towards that. Basically the cash, we started putting the cash on hand
Right.
into that fund. So I would suggest that what we would want to budget for that is some amount of the cash on hand.
So
Do you
the
want to
capital
put a
reserve.
figure out there?
Pardon?
Go ahead, Rick.
So the capital reserve and the development are two different lines?
Yes,
And,
Two different bank accounts.
okay, and what is the purpose of each one?
the capital reserve is for capital purchases that need to be made. Not as big as a new fire truck, but
Well, anything to do with the fire station
self-contained breathing apparatus, for example,
or
something like that, a piece of
motor blows in one of the trucks and has to be rebuilt, right?
So the capital reserve is more for unexpected capital expenses that may arise throughout the year. And the development is kind of the building fund
Yeah,
Particularly for the fire department.
for the fire department, yeah.
But I would assume that you could use both of them for the same. Right?
Yeah, well, that was kind of,
The reserve you could use to build a new building.
right, but the development is specifically towards a future building.
Yes.
And how much do we have in the reserve now?
Sarah, that sounds like your,
I know, I'm
bailiwick.
looking, we've gotten sort of out of order, so my brain is out of order as well, because I was gonna say, just when I think of it, so should I have, Matt, should I have on the Bergeron equipment purchases, should that be not towards the fire department? Should that be coming out of like the capital?
reserve?
The who?
The Bergeron, the uniform purchases?
What are the Bergeron uniform purchases, Sarah?
That should be more out of the general budget for the fire station than
Okay,
capital.
fire department.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I put them. Oh, sorry. So fire department fundraiser has $8,111 in it. And this is where it gets a little, the general fund money market for the Saxtons Fire Department has $34,000 in it. And then where's the other one? Sewer fund. $27,000.
Is in what? Development?
That's in the Village of Saxon River Pool Plus money market. That's capital reserve.
I don't believe that we had a special account for the fire department development money.
Yeah, things got moved around and spread out over the years.
I mean, we have one that's literally called the SRVFD General Fund, and that has $34,000 in it. So let me go see where that money came from. All dates.
Is it too late in the game to get a list of all the different accounts that we have, restructure them and reorganize them to get approval at the village meeting to do so?
It's never too late for that. Things were trying to be consolidated years back when Ryan Ostabo was on the board, and we were trying to consolidate and put monies where they could make more money that weren't being used on a regular basis. So because we have so many between the fire department and the wastewater treatment facility, and then after that the rec area, there's just a plethora of accounts of money markets and general accounts, and And it's truly amazing, actually, how many accounts there are.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
that
almost-
I was going to bring up as part of the budget.
Yeah.
Almost seems like there's too many.
Yeah, it seems like it, and probably when we have a slow time, we should have all of them in front of us, because just holding all the money in a checking account for the fire department, you make no money where you have monies coming in. So monies were moved to another account to make money while it was just sitting there, and we were adding money to it with whether it's the capital reserve or the one of the other development accounts. So
I'm
So
gonna-
I think Matt makes a good point. When it's a slow time, and it's my feeling that this is not a slow time for us. So I'd like to proceed with the worksheets and
Yep.
get through the meeting tonight. I'm learning a lot from these digressions, but they are digressions. So with your permission, I'll bring you back to the worksheet and let the discussion of the accounts come at another time.
Very good. Let's move.
Okay.
Sarah, is there anything else you want to add before we give it back to Carl?
No,
Okay, Carl, what else do you want from us?
but can we go back? I'm sorry. Yes, there is. Can we go back up and do like fire department and the other parts so we don't get lost? Because we didn't talk about fast or fire department line items 4 and 5 at all.
So my understanding was with the fast squad and the fire department, we were going to budget approximately what we had before, given the fact that there's no longer service to Athens. That's what we heard from Nick and from Art.
Correct.
Carl, I'm going to give you that question.
Nick and Art both said that we could keep the budget items for 4 and 5 the same because we were no longer servicing Athens.
Great.
I would want to move the fast squad up to $2,500. It's minor, but I'm not sure what they're covering with that, but it certainly could change.
Well,
Any
this,
objections to that? Okay, Carl's made the adjustment.
Made the change.
okay, but who is going to pay for the EOS in the future?
It's a one-time
One time, yeah.
big expenditure. And Nick thought that Rockingham might take on the annual
Yeah.
updates, but
Seemed like that was going to happen, and I think that may have happened if things moved. I won't digress into that. Let's get through this.
it's a reasonable question, Sarah, and I think the answer is this year was a balloon payment.
Yep.
We know that we can't operate either of these departments without reporting software. So this is
Yep.
what we're stuck with at the moment.
I think Rockingham is going to cover it for everyone after this. Is my sense, but so where are we, Carl?
Are we down to,
Well, fire station development. Money for the new fire station. How much do we want to?
Don't you need to do the rest of the lines and then go back?
Yeah.
Oh, we can.
Yep.
Okay, insurance.
that's going to be also League of Cities and Towns. I don't have that policy in front of me.
Okay. Next.
Okay.
So I would put in what there is there. I expect it goes up to at some point, but I'll try and get that for you.
Okay. Put in what we have currently. Policing. Yes, Amy, you were going to,
Oh, I never gave that to you?
no.
I'm sorry. So the Wyndham County Sheriff, if that amount is going to go up, I might even have it in the other room. You keep talking and I'll go check,
Okay,
please.
all right. Telephone. We've been budgeting 1,000. It's been hovering
It's $100 a month. It's 104 and it's gonna go up. The last time I talked to them. So if you budgeted $125 a month,
Okay, so that comes to 1,200, 1,300 roughly.
yeah.
Okay.
I expect I do have that somewhere, but not in front of me. I have some other correspondence from the sheriff's department, so I'll hunt that up. It usually comes to me in an email. Did it come to you, Ellen, do you recall seeing a letter from the fire department quoting an hourly increase for this year?
No,
It's very easy to get it reissued, so I'll do that. I'm putting that on my list of things.
So do you want to put a number in there tonight, just for the heck
So
of it?
I'm sure it goes up.
So it went from 625 last year to 725 this year. Monthly.
Okay.
So it's gonna go up,
We can budget whatever we want.
right?
Well, whatever they were able to cover. So, we've had 7,500 and it was 8,100. We got 8,700. So we just plug a number in there for now and keep moving.
Why don't we do 800?
8,000.
800 a month,
Yeah,
so 9,600.
Okay.
yeah.
Put that number in.
Okay. Okay. So that brings our total budget to 65,000 roughly. And then so how much of that, if we have 9,000 cash on hand, how much do we want to use to offset to reduce taxes, and how much do we want to put to the fire station development?
Right. So what's the 550
So
do
I,
tax rate? Is it going to bump us up a lot or not?
Well,
Without-
it's going to bump us up roughly. Let's see, 22, 23, our budget was 58. It's going to bump us up about 8%. If we offset 5,000 of that, we'd be roughly where we were in 21, 22. The total budget was a little bit less last year.
So right now we have $5,000 in the capital reserve. If you take that out,
Mhm.
and so basically you're at 60,550. And we take the 92, 2919 and put it in the capital reserve, then we're basically a wash. Is that right?
So if we take that $5,000 out,
Yep.
it brings us down to 60,000.
Okay.
Yep.
What's that?
And so then anything that we put into, say, fire station development, would just, well, basically we've got 9,000 that we can put in someplace and not increase the tax rate over that 60,000.
Right. So that's what I would propose to do is.
Okay, how would you like to put it? All of it to the
Yep.
development, or all of it to the capital reserve, or some to each?
Well, it depends on where we put it and how we can spend it, correct? Capital
I would say
reserve.
that we could spend the capital reserve on anything, but fire station development could only be spent on the new fire station. Would be
But the capital reserve could be spent on the
Fire station.
fire station, new
Okay.
fire station
Yeah.
also. So we're handcuffed a little bit by putting it in the development or the study. And we're not by the reserve. As long as it has to do with the fire department, we can spend it. Correct? And how
But
much is,
if we put it into just ordinary capital reserve, then it can be spent on anything, including the fire station.
that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So what's in the fire department capital reserve currently?
34,000.
Okay. And is there a study number? Is there a development number?
I think we've lost it along the way. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send everyone the worksheet that I sent Carl that has end of year. and all
Okay,
the-
so I would propose that we take the $9,229 and somebody's thing is in the way, 19 cents, I think,
15 cents, yeah, sorry.
and put it in the fire department capital reserve and pay for the $60,550 with taxes.
Okay,
So rather than put it in just the capital reserve, put it in the fire department capital reserve.
Yeah, right. Then we have leeway to where it goes.
It doesn't have to be used for fire station.
if it's in the fire department capital reserve, yes, it has to be used for fire department, but not necessarily a new station.
But it can be.
My only thing is we have everything. So we have the fire department fundraiser account. And we have the fire department. So that's essentially $44,000 set aside. And our general reserve has too many, 27. Yeah, so we still have 27. Sorry, I was thinking that was much lower number. Question, what is the, Matt, do you know what kind of shape the boiler is in at the fire station? I know there was just $900 worth of work done on it in December.
I don't. I thought we replaced that not too many years ago.
We replaced the water heater.
Is that what it was?
I think so, yeah.
It's just a hot air furnace.
No. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that could happen that wasn't fire department. I mean, the wastewater sewage plant has plenty of money. If there's
We have the
anything,
rec department. There are capital expenditures involved in that. Not usually, but you know,
yeah,
if the roof fell off or
but essentially we have 27,000 for everything but the wastewater treatment plant and the whole fire world.
What do you mean?
Well, so I'm just trying to make funds that are available for other use besides the fire station and the fire department.
Yeah.
In our general funds is 27,934 in a money market account.
Mhm.
We have other money that's set aside. And you're right, for the wastewater treatment plant. Um, but I'm just concerned about putting all our eggs in one basket, so to speak. I'm just trying to, any building thing is going to be fire station. So, unless we have some huge thing at the rec or something that I can't think of.
Fire hydrant replacement project, something
Yeah, but that would fall under,
astonishing.
fire.
Fire, yeah.
So we done with this one?
I would say we're done for now.
Okay.
Carl, you're going to do one more pass at this the first meeting in March?
I'll do another pass at this, yes, not tonight.
Yeah. No, and I'm gonna have to, after Peter does the auditing, which I'm sure we'll find something or several things, and then the figures will be more confirmed.
Okay, I think we want to move on then. So if you would stop sharing, Carl, that would be great. Thank you.
Sharing.
So we have finished with the budget, general budget and the wastewater treatment plant worksheets for now. At the last meeting, it seems to me we agreed we would discuss once more the reporting of the ARPA funds. That's what I took from the minutes. So if I'm in error there, you can correct me. We made the decision to report them separately, I believe. Is that correct, Carl?
That's correct, yes.
Are people still comfortable with that? And Rick, you weren't here for this. We just decided that we discussed the pros and cons of including it in each budget and made the decision to have a separate report. Hearing no objection, moving on.
We needed Rick, so all we got was this.
So we have made a major expenditure.
That was my yes head shake.
Oh, okay. We made a major expenditure on the rescue vehicle chassis, and we made a somewhat smaller expenditure on ESO software. I'm just going to mention, again, this is late breaking news, but I spent an hour and a half in a town meeting this afternoon listening to different state officials talk about ARPA funds and other funds, Budget Infrastructure Act funds, and another Biden initiative that are going to continue to come to be available. So Margot Gia said, if you ever wanted to do energy efficient audits of one building in Saxtons River, I believe every municipality has the opportunity for a $4,000 expenditure based on an energy audit. So if we wanted to look at the wastewater treatment plant, and we particularly wanted to address issues around generating electricity, something you mentioned tonight, Matt, or hooking in solar somehow, I mean, this would be the opportunity. So I'm going to try and continue to bring that to you. But the point was also made that those municipal ARPA funds that we have, and we're still sitting on a small bunch of them, those can be used to match federal grants. That's very unusual. So we have some opportunities here going forward. And that's all I'm going to say unless there are questions.
Nope.
Okay. Annual meeting. Okay, so let me show you the warrant for annual meeting. I'm sure, well, you've already seen it. Do you need any more information? Should I share it with you, or are you all set?
All set.
Carl?
All set.
Ellen? Rick?
I am.
Sarah? Okay, so the usual procedure is to leave it at the Saxtons River Village Market and have you all sign it, and then I do a PDF and it goes into the annual report. You okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, it'll
you.
be there. It'll be there Wednesday morning.
Thanks, Amy.
elections for annual meeting. Sarah Campbell has told me she is not going to run again. Is that still your decision, Sarah? Come on, think of all the fun you've had tonight.
We can outvote her, I'm pretty sure.
No, I believe it's a general election. Sarah,
Don't worry,
Yes.
we'll pull you through.
are you
Yes,
planning to run or not?
No, I'm not planning to run.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to help. Give someone a lot more help than I received.
Yep.
Um,
And
to get
Marco
them up and
Gia
running.
told me today that your suggestion that we have two people, a treasurer and a tax collector, she believes that's by state statute, that we were wrong to roll them together. And she gave me
Oh.
somebody to call who's done some research on that. So we may be
Yeah.
looking for two people to run.
Not
Um,
only it is too much work for one person.
Okay,
If the person works as I do, it's almost impossible, which gets back to my point that I was going to make at some point is there are now 10 accounts to reconcile at the end of every month.
Mhm.
Bank accounts.
thank you for the hard work that you've been doing.
Well, yeah, that's not, thank you, but that's not really what, I'm just pointing out that that's a lot to ask of someone.
Mhm. So if we consolidated, that would make things much easier.
Yes, yeah.
So we'll expect a volume of recommendations when the new person is elected. Anyway, put the word out, please. I've talked to Teresa Spear, who has a background in bookkeeping and organization. The other name I've heard is Inessa Muse. If any of you know her, please talk to her. I think we need somebody who is super organized, who loves bookkeeping, but there is a stipend that goes with it. And I don't know how you feel, Sarah. Alex told me before he stepped down that he thought once you got the hang of things, it amounted to about $20 an hour. I don't know if that's previous to the
doing
real
something-
estate glut that we've had.
I was going to say the number of lawyers in mortgage company,
Mhm.
emails, calls, research.
Well, if you could put a figure on it, I think that helps us be.
And he was only the treasurer. He was not the tax collector as well until his last year. And then he told me he would never do it.
Yeah. So please think about things. If you would rather just come up with the names and have me make the approach, I'm fine with that. But I think all of you know what an important part of this village treasurer and tax collector roles are. So it's important that we find somebody good to run for those. Let's see. Guy is willing to run for moderator. But he's also willing to step down if there are other candidates. I haven't heard of any, but again, the sooner we know, I think the more prepared we are to move forward on that.
And Amy, I'm willing
yes.
to stay till end of year because I know how helpful that would be.
Okay.
Like the enormity of what happens at the end of June and then trying to get bills out.
Okay.
Although hopefully it would be two people.
And I have not yet asked our auditors, who at this point are Peter Bergstrom and Teresa Spear. So if Teresa takes on runs for treasurer, she cannot run for auditor. That's an ethical conflict. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Trustee openings. Amy, Matt, and Rick all run out in 2023. Matt, what is your pleasure? Do you plan to re-up?
My pleasure is to nominate Rick for another year.
Rick, how do you feel about that?
I am really not considering it for this year.
Okay.
No, I'll hang in there.
Okay, and I'll hang in there. So it's just Rick who's creeping us out. Okay, so we need a candidate and are you willing to do two, Matt? 2 years?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, and I'm willing to do two.
I'll do Rick's if I have to.
No, you may not do Rick's. So we have a 1-year position open. One of the people that was recommended to me either for treasurer or one-year position is Cynthia Moore. I don't know if you all know her. She was the CFO for Sojourns and is the Operation Fairy Godmother, who is returning amended returns to Windham County nonprofits, she hopes to bring $3 million back to Windham County. So that suggestion was made to me today. I would love to contact her.
I
Do
know
people
Cynthia-
have other suggestions? I mean, we can just put it out there. It's election from the floor, but I always think we're better prepared if we've talked to people ahead of time about what the job looks like.
I know Cynthia fairly well. She'd be great for either role, but if you could get her to be your treasurer,
Oh my God, she'd be great.
Okay.
Really?
yeah.
Ann, are you interested in running? You come to the meetings fairly regularly.
Dan, sadly, is not a village resident.
No, he's not.
Dan, would you be willing to move into the village so that you could run for this board?
Oh, that's right, because now.
I don't know. I'm a little worried about somebody that will come to these meetings and sit all through them who's not a village resident.
No response. The mute icon is still there. Okay. Anyway, please talk it up. It'd be great to have a contested election. Believe me, if somebody else wants my slot, I am happy to train them and give them the responsibilities.
Cheers for life.
No, not for life. I think this next 2 year might be my last stint. But
How old was Louise when she retired?
Yeah, really. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
look at-
2 years.
she's a better woman than I. I have no problem with that.
I thought
Okay.
Jeff McClarty had expressed interest before.
Say who?
Jeff McClarty had expressed interest.
That'd be
before.
great, wouldn't it? I'm adding him to the list. Yeah, I actually have a list somewhere of people who foolishly said to me, well, I won't do it this year, but ask me again in a year or two. So,
Yes.
okay, let's see. And the other election that happens at annual meeting is the election of clerk. Carl, are you willing to continue as clerk? We ask a lot of you, but you do it very gracefully.
Oh, sure.
Great. Okay, does anybody want to contest that? Ellen? Matt?
No.
Okay, great. Other issues, place,
Clerk
masks,
does not have to
attendance.
Be a trustee, you know.
I'm sorry, what?
Clerk doesn't have to be a trustee.
You're
So,
kidding.
I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think so.
Wow.
Well, it's working well for us to
Yeah.
have you be a trustee. But if you don't want to run, you should say now so we have time to look around.
No, I'm fine. I'm
No, I
fine.
think what Carl is saying is that when his trustee term is up, he may not be a trustee, but he'll continue to be clerk.
Wow.
I was just pointing out that if you want to make it a contested race, you can cast a wider net than the five of us.
Okay. So where do you want to hold it? I haven't reached out to anyone. I know Main Street Arts is willing to continue hosting us. We have 24 Main, since this is not a Zoom event. We have the school library. I don't know what their policy is at this point. Does anybody have strong feelings?
Well, I try and have it in school. That's
I
where it's
agree.
Would like to return to the school?
yeah, it's been there for years and years. And
Does anyone else have an opinion on that?
I agree with Matt.
We had a pretty heavy attendance last meeting, and I'm not sure all those people would fit in the school library.
Yeah, they will.
Okay.
Sure.
Did we have 50 people? I'm trying to remember. Do you remember, Carl?
it
No.
was upstairs in Main Street Arts.
Yeah. I mean, I like Main Street Arts. It's, warm. Bathrooms are right there. For me, it's easier to find my way through, although of course I've been to meetings in both, but
Well, it really doesn't matter to me. As
Okay.
long as there's enough, really. long as there's enough room for everyone. People are comfortable with it.
I thought last year's was at Arts, it wasn't?
It was at Main Street Arts.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, and it is easy to broadcast from there if we want Fact TV to film it. I don't think we did that last year, though. I think, does anybody remember, was Fact TV there? I don't think they were. Well, we did have great attendance, and I'm wondering how to pull that off again this year. I think to some extent it was because it was just people were dying to see each other again coming out of COVID.
That's some drama. Let's have a balloon sighting or something going on.
Just somebody needs to start the rumor that we're gonna turn 37 Main into another park.
Yes, there we
And then
go.
it's gonna be voting on that at the annual meeting, even though it didn't make it on the ballot.
Just warn some major expensive project.
That'll bring them out.
That'll bring everybody out.
All right.
Yeah, a $10 million prison to be built.
Where
That's a good
37 Main is.
37 Main.
Yeah.
I must say, no one brought that up as a use for there, and I think it'd be great.
Sarah.
Let's
right.
not
Don't plant the
just cafes and
Moving
yoga.
on. We're getting late. We moving
Okay,
on.
committee reports and updates. Municipal planning grant for 37 Main Street. Nothing to report. Expecting the major report mid-February, so maybe a week away. Fire station. Anything to report?
The tri-board meeting, they approved doing the study to see, what we needed for fire stations and apparatus in the town of Rockingham, including Bellows Falls and Saxtons River. I don't know if we had enough signatures. I know Carl was on Zoom, so there was a something that was sent around for every board to sign. I don't know if you've seen Amy.
I have not.
Okay, I signed it. Helen signed it. So
Oh, virtually.
Carl, was it sent to you?
No,
all right. Well, you should check with somebody. So
I'll check with Scott Pickup.
yeah, that approves the study so that we can get going with this fire station thing.
I sent by email.
No, I don't know. It was at the meeting, the tri-board meeting. They
Okay, yeah, so
Yeah, it was passed
signed
around.
it. We signed it, and town of Rockingham signed it. So
And we
needs-
had a quorum present. It's just that
right. you
Carl
need
was on
one
Zoom.
signature on it to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
official.
Okay, I'll ask Scott. I'll email him and see what he
Okay.
says.
Right,
Okay, wastewater treatment plant, no updates?
still there.
Okay, minutes for approval from January 9th, 2023. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
I would
Move to
just
approve
please-
the minutes of January 9th, 2023. Is there a second before we discuss?
Second,
Rick seconds the motion. And Carl, you get the first chance to
Fix it.
make any comments.
There's one correction to the minutes that Amy pointed out to me that somehow I had put in the items to be discussed that the Athens Fire contract would be discussed at the tri-board meeting. I'm not sure how that happened, but I deleted that.
Great.
So that change.
Are there any further issues to bring up? All right, it's been, the motion has been made to approve the minutes of January 9th, 2023. That motion was seconded, and I believe we are ready for a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes, hold up a hand. And it's unanimous. Great. Are we ready for the warrants and bills for approval? And Ellen, do you want to share with us?
Yep.
Okay, hold on, give me a minute. You are now the co-host. Whew, that's small.
It's good.
Sorry.
I'm sure it's all there.
Here, hold on.
No, that's
That.
great.
Oh, much better.
for 22,512.48.
Anything that is out of the norm here?
Yeah, the big one is paying for the fire district for the Keene Mutual Fund.
Yeah, the assessment.
Wow, look at that.
Yep.
Whew.
Yep.
I'm sure that's always a hefty sum.
Yeah, it was like 8,700 last year. So, you know, everything is going up just, you know, a little.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me, we now have a tax status with Staples. They've always been very generous to us and just taken my word for it, but I finally filled out the paperwork. So I have bought a box of paper to use for the annual report. It'll be at the fire station, and anything left over will be used there. But
Very exciting, Amy, you should be getting your reimbursement check via TD Bank North.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So just to tell people, if you need office supplies, Carl, I think about you perhaps, let me know and I can buy them with the Staples account or share it with you. But the village of Saxtons River, he reminded me, the person who helped me with this reminded me that it's not good in Keene. It's Vermont sales tax. But it was hefty for the printer we bought for the fire department. So it's good to know. Matt.
Got a question. What's the Vermont Department of Conservation?
Oh, that's the one, Amy sent that to me.
So it's actually Agency of Natural Resources, ANR.
Okay.
Okay. And that has to do with what?
It's a wastewater treatment permit. So we apply for permission to, I assume it has to do with discharging wastewater and, you know, doing it properly.
For sure.
And I suspect that it was on a previous
It was
warrant, but I just wanted to make sure that we approve it and, you know, put it out there for.
Right.
All right. Do you need further time to study the warrant?
Oh, I'm jumping around. Sorry, folks.
All right, we have a warrant before us in the amount of $22,512.48. Is there a move to approve the warrant for this evening?
So moved.
Matt's
Second.
moved to approve it. And who seconded it? Rick?
Sure.
Versa, but either way. Yep.
Oh, reversed?
Yep.
Rick made the motion, Matt seconded it. Might as well
Yep.
do it right, sure. Okay, it's the motion to approve the warrant for tonight, February 6th, in the amount of $22,512.48 has been made and seconded. If there's no further discussion, I think we're ready for the vote. Any other questions?
Nope.
All in favor, please signify by holding up a hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unanimous. Great. Thank you, Ellen. Gosh, it is such a pleasure. Ellen also provided me, and actually Sarah did as well, with a document that included a utility bill and our physical address, which was necessary to prove to the feds that we live at 44 Main Street.
Amy,
Needed to
I
know.
changed the address on our state bank statements, hopefully.
Oh,
So
great.
that they will say box.
44 Main Street?
Yeah, 243, 44 Main Street.
Great. That's perfect.
Just FYI, I've got tax documents that I got today from the mail. Who gets
Oh,
those?
they can just put them in with the bills.
They go to
Okay.
you, Sarah?
I think so. Yeah.
Do I need to keep copies?
I don't, I just filed
Fine.
them.
Okay. Is there any other business for this evening? Go ahead, Matt.
Just to be on record, I had a resident of Pleasant Street stop me at the store and ask me if I had a racetrack down by my house, referring to the noise from modified snowmobile exhaust and monster trucks during the summer months. So I just want to be on record as this was unsolicited. Someone just walked up to my truck and had a discussion about the noise that they hear on Pleasant Street.
Yes, the way sound travels, it actually probably is more at my house than it is if you're at on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're on the second floor or the third floor of the inn, it's actually incredibly loud.
Mm-hmm.
And oh,
Well,
by the way, just as a side note, to the people who are concerned about sirens, if you ever slept in the tower, they have no idea.
So
I will say I spent a fair amount of time trying to figure out where the race car was for my house last several years.
Mhm.
And I think Karen and I were walking down on River Road and they were out there. And when we got home, I could hear, I was amazed at how much it travels up the river, apparently.
So we did discuss at one point, taking a decibel reading. I think there was a suggestion of an app that could be added to a cell phone. I mean, that's one way to proceed.
That happened when things went really awry a year ago, and my wife Kelly had done that, and it was at 110. That's not the case now, but it's
quieter now.
Yes, it's not that, but there is a snowmobile that has a modified exhaust that is very obviously this person living on Pleasant Street can hear quite well, and notices the revving of the monster trucks occasionally during the warmer months. So it's just to be noted that other people hear it.
Yeah, the comment.
We hear the snowmobile too.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I didn't know where. It didn't occur to me where it was coming from, but now that you'd say it,
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I've been kind of amazed that I'm not hearing any traffic from Hartley Hill. Have there been any snowmobiles cutting through, Carl?
You know, I saw my first snowmobiles on that trail a couple days ago, and they came down Hartley Hill Road and went up over the hill towards Kernhattan. I haven't seen any tracks on the part of the trail that crosses our land.
Huh.
Well, the
Interesting.
bridge washed out. The snowmobile bridge had washed out several years ago during Irene. So you can't come over that way anymore.
Oh,
Because they used to come right through our yard, the field behind us.
But still, last year we had quite a few machines coming through. In fact, I rescued one lost couple and drove them to Grafton because they couldn't figure out how to get there from Hartley Hill Road on the trail.
You remind me of one other piece of business. So, apropos the discussion of the cutting of branches on the junction of, is it Mill Street and Maple Street? Connie Lancaster commented that she had read that in our minutes and that she wanted to commend the cutting, which made it easier to go around that corner, better vision. So all sides represented here. It's good to get.
And my name was mentioned as, I don't know, like I'm
that you were going to contact the contractor. I think that was the reason you were mentioned.
Well, no, but I had spoken with the new homeowner about it. That's all.
Yeah.
It is nice down there, but I guess
It's a dangerous precedent.
well, yeah, it's a strip of village land, so
yeah,
it's great that it was cleaned up. We, weren't informed.
But it's not cleaned up.
Well, apparently all the stuff that was there, the metal, the tires and all that, gone. And
So I was approached by the homeowner because I own property right next door.
Yeah.
And he had asked if someone had told him that I was the treasurer. Apparently he thought I had more power than I do.
seemed to think I did too.
Yeah, that if I could get the trees cut down.
Yeah.
Where is this?
This
This
is
go ahead, Brett.
Mill Street as you come down Maple Street.
So you're
Um,
leaving town, you take a right across
Uh-huh.
from Pleasant Street and go down towards the
Used
river.
it used to be Main Street coming up through there. You know, the bridge
Yeah.
used to cross the river down at the end of it.
It's across from the Alexander House, the blue mansion.
Big blue
Okay.
one.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
Right on the corner. So there's a strip of property there. There's a big stone wall and there's a strip between there's the river, then the road, which is Mill Street, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then there's a strip of property with a stone wall, and then I don't know the number of that property that just sold,
7 Maple.
7 Maple.
And that strip
Yeah.
of property belongs to the village.
Right, and the new owners of 7 Maple Street went and cleaned it up and cut brush and some trees and basically want to use the property for gardening and whatnot. And so
And
I
it's-
was approached about it and I said, well, I can't tell you you can or you can't do it. You have to, you know, it's village property, you know. But all the stuff had been cleaned out and pruned up and cut off and it looks great, but moving forward, what do you say about it, right?
Well, we say no determination is made. If you want to make a proposal, you'll have to come to the board meeting.
Right, and when I had a conversation with the homeowner, he started getting kind of adamant about the work that he did on the property, and it's like, well,
But it
best
was
thing-
also, just so you know, it was actually the work done on the property was prior to the closing date, which was 12/19, and he did that work prior to the closing date.
and didn't know that the property was not his.
Yes. Yeah.
I would, you know, when you're buying a property, typically you find out what the property lines are before you buy it.
Yeah.
But regardless, I said, well, you need to go to come to a village meeting if you want, you know. He just started getting a little edgy about the fact that he beautified the area and I was like, yeah, that's great.
Hey, we got back taxes and sewer for that.
There we go.
Okay, items for the next meeting. Obviously, we're going to return to the worksheets. What else is on your agenda? Hearing none. Any need for an executive session? All right, I think we're at that magic moment.
Motion to
Somebody-
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Bye.
See you in a month.